What do we know about our picture? We find the rise over the run. What do you notice that these increments are going by along the y-axis? They're going by increments of 3. So we could say a rise of what? And a run of? That means our slope is 3. So we know our slope is 3, but what are the choices on number 1? Okay, so out of those 3 things, start at the origin, start from one of the points, count the change in y over the change in x, or count the change in 2 x's. Which one of those is going to find us the slope? The second one is going to find us the slope. Then down at the bottom it says, find and explain how to find the x-intercept and y-intercept of the graph. So what's the x-intercept? We already said it. No, the x. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you're right. I was looking, geez. 2 is where the line crosses the x-axis, and what's our y-axis? -6 is where the line crosses the y-axis. We can go on to the next problem. Choose a real-life situation that uses a negative slope. Out of these 4 options, person putting money into a bank account, person spending several minutes running pace, a balloon descending toward the ground, a car going up an entrance ramp to a highway. All of those things except for one has a pattern that seems positive. Which one seems negative? The balloon descending towards the ground has a negative slope. Everything else is something going up over time, or running in a pace over so much time, or a car going up a ramp. Everything else is positive. What does slope of a line represent? What do you guys think? In any real life problem, what will slope represent? Think about when you drive a car. That's talking about something that's happening over a period of what? Time. So a rate at which something is happening, when something is at its minimum, something at its maximum, the distance that something is traveling. Only really one of those things are referring to a change over time, and that's the rate. The first one, the rate at which something is happening, would be an example of a real life slope problem. Because again, if you're talking about slope, it's a change over a period of time. Okay, choose the real life problem that has the given rate and intercepts. It says 1.6 gallons per hour, and then it says the y-intercept is 16 and the x-intercept is 10. So let's plot this line. The y-intercept is 16, the x-intercept is 10. Then I have my 2 lines right there, or my 2 points right there. It says the rate is, why didn't that plot me a line? There we go. Oh, you have to click on line first before it'll plot you a line. And then it says the rate is negative 1.6 gallons per hour. Which one of those 3 do you think represent the gallons per hour? Picking oranges, gasoline that the tank initially has, and then after 10 hours the tank is empty. The farmer fills 16 gallons of milk cartons in 10 hours. I would say the second one with Troy, yeah. So you have 16 gallons initially, and it's going to decrease over how much you use that particular vehicle. So plot the intercepts again. Our y-intercept is at 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Our x-intercept is at 7 hours. Here's our line. It's a negative line. The rate is a decrease of 3 degrees Fahrenheit per hour. It says right here for the rate. It says it takes 7 hours for the temperature to increase by 21 degrees. It takes 7 hours. Over 7 hours, the temperature outside ranges from -3 to 21, or the temperature outside is falling 3 degrees Fahrenheit every hour. After 7 hours, the temperature is 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Which one? 1, 2, or 3? I would say 3. Number 1, you are downloading a song. The percent y in decimal form of megabytes remaining to download after x seconds is y is -0.1 x plus 1. Can we graph this? What's our y-intercept? Where do I put my y-intercept for my line? Our y-intercept. And then look at our increments. What are they? Are they going up by 0.1? Yeah, they are. The ones that are drawn are shown are 0.2, but every block is 0.1, right? So what's my rise over run here? If my slope is negative 0.0 or 0.1, how far should I go and which way? Should I go up or down, first of all? Help me out, Purple Book kids. Down, because the rise is negative. So I should go down 0.1 and then which way? Right or left? No. If you go down and left, what sign is the line going to be? Won't it go up? So I want to go down and right, and there's my negative line. So I'd go down one block and right one block, and that would give me my line. Then interpreting the data for B, it says the x-intercept is 10, so it takes 10 seconds to download the song. The y-intercept is 1, so it's 100% that the song needs to download. Do you think that's what we want? Probably not. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, that's what we want, isn't it? The x-intercept is 10, so it takes 10 seconds to download. Yeah, that's the time. That's the first one. That's what we want. After how many seconds is the song 50% complete? So where am I at 50% completion? What do you guys think? What should I plug in to solve? If I want 10 being 100% of the song, what should I plug in for 50%? 5. Can you follow it on the graph? Where does 5 cross at the y value? At 0.5. So it will take 5 seconds. It will take 5 seconds because, again, 1 means 100, and at 100, I'm not all the way done yet, but after 10 seconds, I have 0% left to download. So if I go down my line to 0.5, I cross at 5 there also. So that's your answers. You have the graph, you have the first block for the answer, and then it takes 5 seconds. Number 7. We have the graph relates temperature y in degrees Fahrenheit to altitude x in thousands of feet. We have at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or excuse me, at 0 feet, it's 59 degrees. At 7 feet, it's 33.8 degrees. How would we find our slope here? Slope formula, and I take 59 minus 33.8 over 0 minus 7. What do I get? So if I take that and I divide it, I believe I get negative 3.6 for a slope. And the y-intercept, we already know what the y-intercept is. What is it? What's it say up in the graph? 0, 59. So can you write an equation in slope-intercept form of this equation? If I know my slope and my y-intercept? Yeah, what would it be? If my slope is negative 3.6, I want to put y equals negative 3.6x, and then what? What do you think, Allie? Plus 59, that's it. So negative 3.6x plus 59. What is the temperature at sea level? What does sea level mean? What's my altitude? This is a different question, but really it's asking the same thing. What's my altitude at sea level? What's that? By very definition, what does that mean? Isn't that 0? Isn't sea level at 0? So what's my altitude at 0? Or temperature, not my altitude, I'm sorry. What's my temperature at 0? 0, comma, we already said this 3 times, 4 times. 59. Okay, aren't you glad I'm going over this lesson with you? And they all said yes. Okay. Your family is driving from Cincinnati to St. Louis. The graph represents the distance from St. Louis in Y miles and travel time in X hours. So again, I have an X and a Y intercept. It's showing me right here at 360 miles from St. Louis, I have driven 0 hours. And at 6 hours, I have driven all the way, so I have 0 time left to travel. So interpret the data, interpret the intercepts. I just talked about it. The x-intercept is 360. Is that true? Before I read the rest of this, is that true? Is the x-intercept 360? No. So do I even need to read the rest of the first option? No. Let's move to the right. The x-intercept is 6. So it takes 6 hours for your family to drive from St. Louis or Cincinnati to St. Louis, and it says the y-intercept is 360, so it is 360 miles from Cincinnati to St. Louis. Is that what I just got done saying when I read the graph up above? Yes, it is. Okay. What is the slope? What does the slope represent in this situation? We look at our options here, it's negative 60. We know it's negative because our line is going down, so automatically we know it's either negative 60 or negative 40. If we go ahead and calculate it out, we would get negative 60, and that is, again, your distance as it decreases as you're driving towards St. Louis. Write an equation. So do we have enough information to write an equation? What's your slope? So we're going to put negative 60x plus... What's my y-intercept? Jasper, what's my y-intercept? Quick. Y-intercept. You got to let those boys process. They got to get faster. Okay. What do I have for the last answer here? How would you graph the equation? Excuse me. Yeah. How would you graph the equation and the change? How would the graph and the equation change if you were able to travel in a straight line? What do you think? Do you think any changes would occur? Both intercepts would be less, but the slope would be the same? I bet that would be the case. Yep, both intercepts would be less, but the slope would be the same because we're still going how fast? The same speed, but if we could go in a straight line and not have to zigzag all over the place, both intercepts would be less. Okay, the table shows altitude or latitudes and longitudes of several cities around the world. We could plot them. It says to plot a point for each city, so go ahead and plot a point for each city. We're skipping number 9. Go on to number 10.
Skip number 9.
Skip number 9. Okay, a band is performing at an auditorium for a fee of $1,500. In addition to this fee, the band receives 30% of each $20 ticket sold. The maximum capacity of the auditorium is 800 people. Write an equation that represents the band's revenue R when X tickets are sold. This one's kind of tough. How we solved this was we took 20 times 0.3 to get 6. That's how much we make per ticket, and we added on the $1,500 that the band is getting as a fee, and that will tell me how much my entire revenue is. The next question, the band needs $5,000 for new equipment. How many tickets must be sold for the band to earn enough money to buy the new equipment? Where should I plug in that $5,000? For R, very good. So if I plug in 5,000 for R, I would solve for X. So go ahead and do that.